Welcome, and I've lost my place. All right, this is dumb SEO Questions. Each week we meet to answer the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. With us tonight, we have David Rozam. David is an SEO copywriter of 30 years standing. A copywriter of 30 years standing and innovative as an SEO copywriter. Masataki Wasa is CEO of WasaWeb Corporation. He's a Google top contributor on the AdSense and also the Google Plus help community. And Tim Kappa is a conversion rate optimization specialist. He's proud to call himself an SEO, and you'll find Tim on onlineownership.com. What's your website, David Rozam?
It's www.writingforseo.org.
Rankingforseo.org. I should say
writing, not ranking. Writing.
Sorry, what was it?
Writing.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, each week we get questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. This week we have 17 of them, and the first is a question from Danielle Chan. Where should I put my products? She asks, if I have multiple product lines, is it better to have all of the products under one website or have each product line with its own website? The goal is to increase leads / clicks to the website. So which option would be better for SEO? I need a quick answer with a few bullet points to support your stance. Thank you in advance. You guys on strike?
No, mate. It's just I wish you would like. The point is, what are the how similar are the product lines? If this company happens to sell drills and then toilet brushes, it makes sense to have two sites, one for the drills, one for the toilet brushes. However, if it's drills, screws, and hammers, then that makes sense all to go on to one site. So it really all depends on how diverse these are. On the flip side of that, that's not always necessarily the case. My missus works for RS Components, which has something like 50 million lines of product lines, just an astronomically stupid amount. It's all on one site. As long as you make your navigation sweet, it's not going to be a problem. So it flip sides, but ideally, if I had just two kinds of products, whether it be drills and toilet cleaners, one for each, a separate site for each. That would be the ideal. But if you had just hundreds of them, thousands, millions, it would just make sense to obviously segment them all nicely into one massive e-commerce site. But yeah, she's only got 4. Depends how diverse they are. Would mean maybe 4 sites, or could they just be 2 sites depending on the product lines, or I don't know what they are. So.
Well, it seems to be that these are property sites in New Jersey. On the she says on the last post here. So
properties in New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, it says community. My company builds and sells. these communities have condos and townhomes.
So what's she thinking of? Condos for one, townhomes for another. I think you would just get, in that regards, I think you'd have far more equity in one site because they are buildings which people want to purchase in a certain area. So in that respect, I would say in one, because all your equity will be in one side for properties to purchase in, where did you say, New Jersey?
New Jersey.
Yeah, so all your equity and authority will be building up for that New Jersey properties, condos to purchase in New Jersey. So therefore, I would say one in that regard. It also makes
Yeah, sorry, I thought you'd finished.
I think it also makes creating content. I mean, you segment them out nicely. You know, you'd have a landing page for each different kind of property type. So condos and whatever the hell they make, a house and a terraced, and I don't know what they call them in America, but you know, to have 4 different landing pages, it would make building content for that and creating content a lot easier on one site than creating 4 separate pieces a week for 4 separate sites, you know.
Yeah, I think generally I gravitate towards just having one site because you can put all of your effort into making that site really good. And one really good site is better than four half-hearted, quarter-hearted, if you like, sites. The only thing is, if these are massively, you know, if these are quite big communities that will have a long life, a long sales life, if you like, and they're also quite different or in very different areas of New Jersey, there may be a case for doing them separately, but I'm without understanding any more about it, I'm fully with Tim that one really good site is much preferable.
Yeah, I think for me the overriding thing would be, you know, the whole New Jersey weight of things. You can still segment these communities out as long as the navigation's properly, you know, as properly planned out. You could still have these communities. I suppose I'm assuming that these communities are what they're called, you know, like in the UK, we just, you know, they're just new builds. So have them for that specific area. You can, you know, all your blog content, you can, it's all going to all build together to create one great site for properties in New Jersey, because, you know, Google kind of understands that a condo is property, a townhouse is property, a flaming reconverted basement cellar is still property, and ultimately it's purchase of property in New Jersey. Obviously those individual landing pages for those different areas, make sure on obviously the home landing page you have where in New Jersey that particular new build is, you know, that bit of land that you're building on in New Jersey. That could also be in your title on that landing page, so it would be XYZ New Jersey. The other one, the next landing page would be ABC New Jersey. But the point is you're creating a real great, you know, authority New Jersey properties site, rather than diluting 4 of them, and then you have the hassle of how am I going to link these all 4 together without
Yeah.
Excellent, Tim. And I'd also point out, if you're watching along at home, that there are also some great comments left on the SEO Questions community on Google+, and we thank the people that do volunteer their time to give these answers. And yeah, that was a great conversation there. All right, let's move on to number 2 on our list. It's from Maddox. Does having your location in your domain name make a positive impact on SEO? For example, www.business.com versus www.business@bradshaw.com. I feel like adding the location makes the domain lengthy. Is there such a thing as a lengthy domain?
No, you can have your domain as long as you want, but will people remember it? Will they type it incorrectly? Will they keep getting 404s because they think your domain was Business in Bradshaw because we're the best.com? If they type something incorrectly, will they get the same one? Will it just be 404? Will it be we can't find this page? So in that sense, you know, the more memorable, the shorter, the sweeter, the better. There is a slight advantage if you had the locality in the domain name for local SEO. But to be honest, you know, it's nothing that you couldn't do with a little bit of local citation anyway. So weighing everything up, all told, I would say the shorter, the sweeter, the snappier, the better. Your customers will remember it. Repeat customers, it's more likely to be correctly linked back to you when somebody mentions you, without getting, you know, mishaps. And it's probably also brandable. I mean, how do you create a logo with Business in Bradshaw, we're the best plumbers there are around? How do you create a logo for that? How do you brand it? It's a mess. So yeah, you know, I would say for me, shorter, sweeter, the better. For local, there is a slight advantage, but nothing that can't be remedied with actually building some local citations for your business and locality. And so, you know, I would go shorter, sweeter, snappier.
Excellent, Tim. Anybody else on this one? All right. Question number 3 on our run list is from Gun and Camera, everything infrared, on Google Webmaster Tools partial status. He wants to know, is it bad when I fetch and render my homepage on Google Webmaster Tools and I return a partial status rather than complete? Thanks, Christopher.
Basically, if you click onto the page, so it gives you your, obviously the page you try to fetch, blah blah blah, and then it gives you your status. If you click on the URL that obviously that you've attempted to fetch, it will then render the page, and below it will show you why it was only partially fetched. And a lot of the time it will be as a result of robots text blocking JSS or CSS, JS and CSS, which you can remove from your robots text, and that should resolve the situation. There may also be an image, for example, that you were using for that page that they couldn't locate, or for some reason was removed or has been lost in the, in the code somewhere. That also might result in sort of a partial. But if you basically check the page, scroll down, and Google will Webmaster Tools will tell you exactly where it failed and why it's only a partial fetch. Resolve it. Go to your robots text. Resolve those. If it's an image, great. Oh, you found an image that wasn't rendering properly, or I got lost in the code, or whatever the case may be. Fix that, and then it should be a-okay. But it does tell you, why it can't. So and job done. Just fix it.
Thank you, Tim. All right, let's move on to number 4. It's from Joe Farris, who said, my ranking on the search engine result pages is bouncing up and down. He said, I'm trying to understand after many hours. I tried to get on page 1 or 2. I was on page 6 yesterday. Today, I was on page 1. That's great. That was an hour ago. And this time, I'm currently on page 2 at the bottom. What the heck is happening? I'm trying to understand why this would happen. I don't understand how it could be on page 1 second from the top and drop to page 2 at the bottom within an hour. Don't fight over it.
Okay, Joe, you're going to have to excuse me, mate, because I'm going to take the piss out of you now. After many hours of trying to get onto page 1, bloody hell, mate, after many years, I tried. Yeah, I wish it was that easy, a couple of hours. No, listen, you're always going to have fluctuations. I don't know, are you actually logged in when you're searching these? Because there's personalization. If you're going to check something like this, open an incognito window and check something like that. Yes, it happens all the time, that these fluctuations. I've never seen them change dramatically from position 1 to the bottom of page 2 within an hour. I've never seen it that dramatic in an hour. I've seen that in a day or 2 days, or 24 hours, but never in 1 hour. Yes, it happens all the time. If Google finds a new page, on the face of it, they index you, and then they rank you according to where, then based upon the popularity of the page, what's actually on the page, the user engagement, hundreds and hundreds of different factors. Then they kind of, over a bit of time, separate the wheat from the chaff, and then sort of you settle down into, like a more stable position. Keep an eye on your webmaster tools. Go into there, your search positions. It will give you kind of an average, because these things bounce up and down all the time. So it's definitely, but I've never seen it from 1 hour to drop from 1 to 24 hours maybe, but not in an hour. So double check your personalization, and it's always best to use an incognito window. That's about it.
Thank you, Tim. Anybody else? All right, let's go.
I agree.
To the next. David Rosam said, I agree. Morton Peterson asks or says, I am struggling with traffic from Google on my sites and cannot figure out why. My sites are the following: winesworld.net, winesworld.com, and a number of other URLs, which you'll find on the SEO Questions community on Google+. Let me see what else he had to say, because I don't want to read out all of those names. He also has a Norwegian blog at blog.winesworld.no, and a magazine at magazine.winesworld.com. And I've just added mobile-friendly pages, hoping it will help. I'm getting about 55% traffic from Bing, only 29% from Google. It does not add up. 9 months ago, I quit using Google Analytics, and it got worse. Google tells us that they are not using the data from analytics, but are they anyway?
First off, I see Edwin just said, look, you've apparently he looked in Ahrefs and he's dropped quite a shed load of links, so obviously that would be a good place to look at. And then yeah, I really don't think analytics. I mean, you say you stopped using analytics. Analytics will, I don't believe, ever play a part in a ranking factor. The only reason being is analytics is too easy to manipulate. So to give you an example, I could just go and buy traffic, and all of a sudden my site could have 50,000 visits. Yes, they may be useless. They may go through to 1 or 2 pages because it's basically roboted, automated, coming from proxies, but that doesn't matter. And if I bought 50,000 visits a day, then in theory, Google's going to love me and rank me #1. It doesn't happen. Yeah, because analytics is too easy to, to skew. So, and of course, analytics really only tends to work on the pages that you've put the tracking onto. So yeah, there's a whole lot of factors, and I really don't believe having analytics attached to your site will or won't make any slight of difference. But yeah, follow up what Edwin said, and go into your webmaster tools and have a look at those links. Yeah, keep an eye on them. Jim.
Yes, Tim.
Come on, mate. Snap to it. Question 6.
Well, I know he drones on a bit, but no need to go to sleep.
I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling.
Coffee.
All right. So
coffee.
We've covered Morton Peterson's answer, have we?
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to the next. This is from Ragava Chinu on recovering from a penguin hit in 2012. So I was working on a 2012 penguin hit e-commerce site, perfectlyhomerugs.com, which used to get good traffic in the past before 2012, i.e. 1,000+ unique visitors. And now we are changing its server from ProStore to MyBigCommerce. Can you please help me out by giving valuable suggestions to bring back its farm? I guess if Josh Basinski was here, he'd say he can get it back in 3 days, but of course that would be just nonsense.
I was wondering if you'd say that. I think I'm the only one here, and this is not really something that I can be too sensible about.
Yeah, well, look, let me jump in.
Yeah. You'll stop me going to sleep.
Yeah. Ragava, Penguin is about links, and one tool that you do have, there is a lot of conjecture about it, but I don't think you can do yourself any harm by looking at your links and assessing their value. I suppose the best way to look about to think about quality links is if you can look at those links and see how they arrived. And Dwayne Forrester came out with a great quote on links. He said, links should surprise you. In other words, if for any reason, if you had a hand in the building of the links, it's not going to surprise you. And generally, something that you built will be a suboptimal link. So you've got to look at your link profile and get rid of the crap. Look at links that you might have bought